Welcome G. Let's start Java tutorial. Today I'm going to discuss on inheritance. So first take a definition and then try to understood how we can use in the Java and what are the syntax and semantic and some example as well as. So as per the definition of inheritance, a class that is derived from another class called a subclass. Okay, and the derived class is also known as extend class or child class. So inheritance is a property to inheriting the data member of a class, maybe the class which is a subclass uh, is a derived class and the superclass. So this is your derived class, this is your superclass. The superclass data member are inherited by your subclass. So this is a sometimes superclass, also known as a base class, also known as a parent class. Okay, so generally the class is inheriting known as your superclass, base class, parent class. The class which inheriting the property a data member known as your subclass, derived class, extended class, or child class. Okay, inheritance is the one of Java OOPS principle which say your one class can inherit the property or data member from another class. That top level class known as your super class, or okay, you can say super class, or you can say base class, or you can say parent class. The class which inheriting the property known as your subclass, derived class, extended class, or child class. These are the generally names we are used. So let us say class super class. Okay, this is the one class, and similarly you can write a class subclass. Okay, so these two classes are independent. Okay. How to inherit the property of this class? Like integer your x. Okay, so you want to use the x variable in here, then how will do let's key void so so from superclass. So I want to inherit this property in my subclass. So how do we have to inherit and say your extends your superclass. So this way you can now this superclass does not define anything, but superclass can access this data member. So here you can create a main class object 1 equal to new, and here you can say shout object 1 dot. You can access your x variable, you can access your show method as well as x variable, and show method does not return any value, so you have to not invoke here, and this way run. So here you say your just right. Here say yeah, here you are able to your x variable from subclass object, and you can access your so, but in your subclass does not define any variable, it does not define any method. Subclass inherit the property from your superclass. So how to achieve inheritance in Java using the extend keyword? Okay, you can define own classes like here you can say 10, here you can say integer a equal to 20, and here you can define another method like so one from superclass a equal to plus a, and here you can say x equal to plus x. So from this object you can also object one dot so one as well as. So this class have a you can also the data member from here you can also access your a attribute as well as. If you run it, you notice you are getting your x variable from the superclass subclass object. You can access the show method, you can access the a variable, you can access show method too. So your subclass have a x attribute, show method, a attribute, show method. But really they define all this four? No, they had only defined a and so on, and this x and so are inherited from your superclass. So this is the inheritance. So sometime you say this is the super class, or you can say base class, or you can say parent class, or this is your child class. Okay, sometimes say your subclass, sometimes say your child class, sometimes say extended class, sometimes say your derived class as well as, because they are derived the value. The naming different, but say okay, sometime you want the existing data member, we can use the another class. So you can how to get through inheritance is in Java achieved by extend keywords. So one thing here, this is the one class known as a object class. Okay, which has a no superclass. In Java there is only one class, this does not have any superclass. This is your object class. Else every classes in Java, every classes has one and only one direct subclass. Okay, so Java, if you define any classes, they have a directly only one subclass, only one, not two, and each and every class have a one and only one direct subclass. Okay, this is sometime also known as a single inheritance. Okay, in the absence of their explicit superclass, let's give a write in case our I have a write a subclass and write a superclass, and if we have not defined the, so this superclass also have a one superclass known as a your object class. An object class does not have any superclass. So in Java, this object class is a superclass of our classes. You are explicitly, let's, I'm writing class A. If you're not defining any extend keyword, so by default this is the subclass of your object class. So we notice ki in Java each and every class is directly or indirectly is the subclass of your object class. If we talk about the class that can derived from other class, that are the derived class from classes, and the derived class from other classes as well. So you are say inheritance, like one class can inherit another class, this can inherit another class, this can inherit another class, but topmost you have only object class. Okay, so this is, you can show your chaining of the your constructor. Whenever you are invoking the constructor of this class, before invoking constructor of this class, first this class constructor invoke, before this class, before this class, before this class. So after that, this way your chain of the inheritance happen, and the topmost class is the your object class. Okay. If you talking about the now a subclass that inherit the all the member of its superclass, which generally a class define a fields, method, maybe nested class as well as, so all these can be inherited depend upon the which modifier have applied here. So first things we discuss key which modifier applied field on method or nested. One thing's constructor of a superclass are not a member, not a data member, so they are not inherited by the subclass. The being, so generally in the class you can define a field, can method and nested classes as well as, and you can also define a constructor, but constructor cannot be inherited because constructor is not a uh, data member of any class. Constructor is a place where you can initialize your data field, class field. So but so constructors are not inherited, and if the constructor superclass can be invoked from the subclass, sometime we know to invoke the constructor. This is the provision how to invoke the superclass constructor. Okay, so let's example, like here I am writing constructor is a special method which have a same name as a here superclass constructor. Subclass constructor. Okay, constructor is the same as a method but does not have any return type. The name should have a same as a class name. Okay, so this is the subclass constructor. So here we are creating the object of your only subclass. So subclass inherit from a superclass. So before using your subclass constructor, this is the superclass constructors are invoked. Okay, so this is your first. You are creating the object of subclass, but before subclass they are invoking the superclass constructor, then your subclass constructor. So in this way your constructor chaining happen. So let's we have already discussed the object class is the where define this object class. This is defined in one package java.lang package. This is the package where this object class is defined and implements the common behavior to the all classes. Generally in this class define some common behavior that is needed by the all the Java classes. Okay, so including once in you write in the Java platform many classes uh, directly inherited from object class and some other derived from some different way. So by default you are you can inherit directly from your object class or indirect way maybe you are indirect way your class is the part of your object class. So this is the class hierarchy. Look like if you look this is the class hierarchy. This is your object class, and object class have a multiple subclass. Okay, subclass. Maybe you have an you can define this subclass is inherited from this, and that inherited from this. Maybe this inherited class inherited from this inherited from this inherited from this from this, and this from this. In anyhow, whenever you are creating any class, maybe you have a different to different subclass, but in directly or indirectly your class will be the part, yes, subclass of your object class. And object class defines some common method like equals method, highest code method, clone method, double equal to methods. So these are the methods which are generally used on any method. So these are method defining an object class. So if they have equals method, hash code method, wait method, notify method, lots of method, clone method defined inside here. So all these method by default inherited from your all the objects. So object class defines the common behavior that is needed by the all Java classes. If you are talking about the subclass inherit all public and protected member of its parent class. So okay, if this is your super class and this is a child class, want to inheriting the property, so which thing can inherit it? This is the public and protected data member can inherit it. If you write here a public or a protected data member can directly accessible here. If you are not writing anything like a default look like a public, default look like a public inside a particular package, in which folder you have a written look like they work as a public. If you are not writing any modifier, that means your default means look like a public. Your data member behave like a public in the particular folder in Java folder known as your package, in same package. So what is the remaining? This is the public, this is the protected. Third part is your private. So private data member, if you are defining any data member private here, this cannot be accessed here. Okay. Okay, so all the public and protected data member are inherited no matter what package the subclass is. The subclass is if you are this is the one class one, maybe this is the package inside the package one. You are defining a subclass here in the different package. Okay, different package. They can inherit the all the public and protected data member. If the subclass in the same package as its parent, so also inherit the package private data member as well as. Okay, so you can use the inheritance member replace the hide and supplement the new member. So let us example. If I am declaring here like I am going to declare in this is if here we I am not here we have not declared anything. Default means look like a public in the same folder. If we have created in the same folder both classes, so these are work as a public and they can inherited here. If I want x variable cannot inherited by this my subclass. Okay, so here we can access your x variable as well as okay x. Okay, these are these variables. If you run it, sure your subclass method can access a variable and b variable as well as. Okay, they can use your show method. They can, let's see, I am going to define another variable like up here I am specify private integer y equal to 30. Okay, if here you are trying to access plus y equal to plus y, okay, here it's not allowed. Okay, okay, So if you are trying to access here, they say because this is the private data member. Okay, superclass.white is not visible here. Okay, the white data member cannot be visible because y is the your private data member, so you cannot access here y. So sometime you want to some data member, I don't want to inherit going to the in the my subclass as child class, so you mark as a public. So in general recommendation, whenever you are defining a field, that should be public until unless you are not needed to override or to inherit my subclass. Okay. Reason is that inheritance can, if it is the x, here is equal to x equal to 10, and you can need it, then you can change the value x equal to uh, 500. Okay, your x value can change, your x value change. Your x value change, your superclass defined 10 and subclass can change, so your this value can be changed in subclass as well as. So sometime generally always preference all the fields should be private, if until unless some business requirement doesn't allow ki this should be inherited by your size child class or subclass and can be modified. So general preferences, whenever you are writing class, your field should be private. Okay, so that you know ki all the any you cannot restrict ki my class can so anyone can inherit, you can inherit my public method, your default, but they cannot inherit our private data member. So these are the some rules which we have to discuss about the inheritance. Okay, inherited field can be used directly just like any other field. Okay, look like we have used the x variable. Here is the your here is your x data member. Here we can use directly x, directly x. And similarly, you can declare a field. You can declare field in a subclass with the same name as a. Okay, so here one option you can declare a field the same name as like a superclass name, so known as a heading. Means superclass define x variable and subclass also you can define x variable, so they can override hide the value. Okay, so let's say example, if here x and here you can also define integer x equal to 444. Okay, 44. Whenever you are going to run, they are overriding value. Initially this is the 10, but now you change here, and if you run it, okay, initially this is the 10, but whenever you change, this is the 40 40 and 40 40. So we have a option, generally this is not recommended, you don't define the field name same as in a superclass. This is the generally uh, not recommended way. And you can declare new field in the subclass. They are not the superclass. Similarly, we have declare a, so inherited method can use directly. Okay, so here this method also inherit, so here you can directly use your uh, show function as well as. So directly inherited member here, maybe your field or maybe method, you can directly use inside your subclass. If you run it, here you can have the show. You can write a new instance method in the subclass just like we written a show one, and same name as a same name signature as is one of the superclass. This is known as overriding. The one thing known as a overriding, let's example here what happened, you have defined a show method. Okay, here you can also, here you can declare your x variable, here you can declare same variable x. This is your hide the value. Similarly, same signature, so you can also declare inside your, let's say I am changed to display. Okay, here should be display, and you can define the same signature of in superclass inside your subclass as well as here. Same. So this is known as a show override. Whenever you are defining a same signature from superclass in the inside a subclass, same return, same name, same your signature. So this is known as a overriding. So this is the option, you can define the same name as in a superclass. This is known as your overriding. So this is the kind of a form of polymorphism. Okay, what happen, you can if you are now here, you are invoking from here, so they are use your own function. Okay, they are using overridden. Okay, so here show function is the overridden function. Okay, and you can also invoke it from your here as well, object one dot show. So they are in this value. So it's clear overriding. Or someone maybe ask, what is overriding? Overriding means you are defining a method in a subclass, same signature that is defined inside your superclass. So this superclass method is overridden in the your subclass. Signature means same name, same parameter, argument list as well as. So overridden. Okay. You can write a new static method in the subclass, same as in a superclass. Similarly, like instance method, you can write in a here I am talking about the instance method, and similarly you can do the static method as well as. So whenever you are overriding your instance method, known as overriding, whenever you writing the same name from the superclass inside your in the subclass, known as a method heading. So what is the method heading? You are defining a same name like any static method, so known as a method heading. You are defining a same name for instance method in the subclass, known as overriding. So this is the over method heading. You can declare a new method in subclass that is the not on a superclass. Will similarly we have written display method. You can write a subclass constructor that invoke the superclass constructor using the super keyword. Okay, so you have to invoke the super. So some time we want to invoke the superclass constructor. The superclass constructor is the first line, and before invoking this, you can invoke the superclass constructor. Let's give we have an not here default, by default they are invoking. So if you are writing like another constructor with one argument, integer your p, and here you can invoke your super. Okay, so whenever you are creating one argument constructor, superclass instructor also invoke. Let's we have create another object with the 100 value, object 2. If you run it, so here here first time you create this is your default first you are going to subclass create constructor before subclass superclass invoke. Similarly, now we are going to this is the new object here invoke, and then you are going to invoke the superclass constructor as well. This is superclass, this is subclass. So be notice sometime if you needed to invoke your superclass constructor from the subclass, then you can use a super keyword. This is the first line of your code. Okay. So if you want to invoke so this is the some rule and some point you have to remember while inheriting any classes. Okay, if you are going to inherit, so please be aware, so private data member are not inherited inside your subclass. Okay, you can define same variable in subclass same as a your superclass known as a your heading. This is not recommended. You can define same instance method in the subclass same like in a superclass. This is known as a method overriding. You can define same static method inside your subclass similarly like your superclass. This is known as a method hiding. So and you can also invoke the your uh, first thing, all the private, all the public data, all the public and protected data member can inherited. Constructor cannot inherit it. Okay, so if you want to invoke constructor from your superclass to the subclass constructor manually, so you have to use the super keyword. The super keyword used to invoke the superclass constructor from your subclass constructor. So these are the few points you have to remember. Majorly your method overriding, a method hiding. Whenever you are defining a same instance method in a subclass, look like a similarly defined a superclass known as a method overriding. If you are defining a same name method inside your subclass for a static method inside the same static method inside your subclass known as a method hiding. Okay, you know static method is generally preferable way to invoke from a class name, and instance method is preferable way to invoke from an object. If you talk about just like I say private data member in the superclass. Okay, so B subclass does not inherit private member of its parent class. Okay, so if superclass has some public or protected method for accessing its private field, so they can be used by the superclass. Okay, and though some nested class has a access all the private data member of its enclosing class. As so whenever if any data member you are declaring as a private, this cannot be inherit access by the subclass, but you want to access anywhere, so this is the only in the case of subclass can access your private data member as well. So sometime you want to access some private data member, so you have to write your uh, 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 nested class, you can say. So therefore only know ki public and protected nested inheritance by subclass and direct access your private data member in the case of superclass. So as a Java programming language support multiple inheritance of type. Okay, if you have a class, if you are talking about class A and you have a class B, okay, so they can inheritance only one class. If you have a class C, you want to inherit A class inherit C as well as, so this is not allowed. Multiple inheritance of classes not allowed, but you have if interface, we have a interface I1, we have interface I2, one class let's give a D class can implement one interface, can also implement two interface. Okay, so interface types are allowed multiple inheritance, but class level multiple inheritance not allowed. Why? If some method defined here, some method defined here, this class doesn't know this is inherited from this or inherited from this. This is ambiguity. So the Java does not support here. If here same method defined here, same method defined here, this is your signature, no method body. Okay, so here you can defining your same method, both for the same. So I have discussed here about the overriding and method hiding. Okay, so instance method, non-static method. Okay, instance method in the subclass is the same signature. Signature means name plus number of argument and type of its parameter, and the return types are as an instance method in the superclass override. Okay, so simply if you have a superclass have a method a with the same name and parameter, and you are defining the subclass also same name and a parameter list, this is the your here your method overriding in the case of your non-static method. So here ability of superclass to override a method allowed to a class inherit from a superclass. Okay, okay. So overriding method has a same name, number and types of parameter, and the return types as the method that it override. Overriding method also return the subtypes and the overridden method as well as. So this is known as covariant data types. So generally, if your superclass method define the a1 method with the a data type return type should be a. So in the overriding, if you're defining overriding, you are defining same. Here you can write to your same a class or a subclass of any subclass. Allow. This is known as covariant. Not the specific only A, but all the subclass. If this is the interface I, if the interface I, they can return interface, or all the implementation of interface can also allow. This is known as covariant return types. Your overriding method can return any subclass or any implementation class of declare here class types or interface types, but your method name should be same in the subclass. Parameter is same as a super in the same in a subclass. So let's here you are talking about one. Let's we have a talking about another example here. Uh, let's give we have a one class A. Okay, and the class B extends A. A. Similarly, class C extends A. Okay, this allow similarly key interface I1. Okay, and like class uh, C CI1 CI1 implements I1 interface. Similarly, class C2 C1 C2 implement this. Okay, so here let's key I am defining one method in superclass like here I am defining like your return types your A, and your method name is check value. Okay, check value, that's let the return type integer x. Okay, here you have to so here you write let's see inside super check from superclass. Okay, and this should return the return return. You have to a equal to new a. Here return a. Okay, so this, if you want to override this, you want to override this method, you have to write the same signature, here, but here this name should be same. If one argument, you have to write one argument, variable name कुछ भी doesn't matter, and but here return types you can return a p or c, any subclass. Okay, okay, this is the overriding as well as this is the check value from. Okay, here you can overriding. Okay, same name, same name, uh, maybe here one input argument integer, one input argument is the, this is the overriding. Return types a, here you can write return types a, or you can write return types b. Why you can write a is the superclass of your, b have a subclass, or c have a subclass. So here you can pass b or you can pass a, but both in the case of this is the subtypes of your a class. So this is the overriding. This is known as covariant return types. Similarly, so this allow, if you want to like check interface value, if you have a check interface here value, here you can write your interface i1 your interface, and here you can implement any i1, and here you can implement the key i1 implemented by your c1, so you can write here c1, and similarly you can define here, and they can return your interface itself or a class like c2. Okay, c2 c2. So here what are defining, this is the interface i1, this is the i1 interface, they can implement by c1 class, another your c2 class. Okay, implement. So in case of your name is the same name, parameter is the same parameter, but here return types can be your i1 itself, or you can write your c1 or c2, both are allowed. Why? Both are the your implementation class of this your interface. So please be, whenever you are writing overriding method, does not highly depend upon your return types, but you should know return types support covariant. Okay, so overriding is only depend upon your method name should be same, and the argument parameter list should be the same, count should be same, order should be same, type should be same. Okay, so in this way they are support inheritance. So this is the ability of your overriding a covariant. If you talking about the static method, let's see, in your superclass we have a static method a, and the subclass you can define the same static method a. This is not overriding because this is a static method. This is the static method known as a method heading. Okay, this is known as a method heading. if a superclass define the same static method, same signature, a static method in the superclass inside your subclass known as a method heading. So the distinction between the heading static method and overriding instance method is very important. You are defining same signature method inside your subclass already in the superclass known as a maybe if this your method is a instance method known as a overriding, if your method is a static known as a method hiding. So uh, overridden the instance method, okay, get invoked from its subclass, okay. And a version of static method always get invoked from your depend upon the superclass or subclass. Generally static method always prefer to invoke from your class name. Okay, let's here come. You have defined one static method, static. Let's define a void static override method height. We have to define a uh, static here method height. S out. From super class. Okay, you can define the same static method inside your subclass as well as here, and same class only difference this is the subclass. Okay, so here you let's another uh, one thing is superclass. You have write a superclass ref superclass, okay, class reference, okay, here and okay, and this is the one take a subclass ref subclass. So here you have to notice in the what kind of visible, here you can assign the new superclass object itself, okay, one thing, or you can if I define also any implementation subclass as well. So here I can write also new subclass. So be clear, here okay, the here this is the why yes, in the super reference you, this is the super reference, here you can assign the superclass object or all its subclass, all its subclass you can directly assign, okay. So here I can assign new superclass as well as or in new subclass as well as, the both references are allowed here. And from this if you invoke your check value, okay, that's your 110, and the same you are invoke from here. Let's look, run it. You look here, uh, uh, check value from your subclass, check value from your superclass. So whenever you invoke this method, this is invoke from check superclass, okay, this is invoke from your oh, subclass. Why? Here reference is the superclass, reference the superclass, but you are here assigning the value of a subclass, means the same this method you are referring to a subclass. The here is the same method superclass dot check value, but here you have assigned the superclass object. So whatever the object you have created, the same definition are invoked here. So P clear ki this is the reference type, does not matter which value we are going to create. They are not going to create the superclass, but which object you are assigning. If here I am assigning the superclass object, so this is the invoke the object of superclass method. If you are defining the subclass object, they are invoke the subclass method. This is known as a runtime polymorphism as well as. Here is a method overriding. Writing means runtime polymorphism. Okay, instead of here, you can also write a method like here. Uh, so let's say static. Here you can write method one, and here you can check references of take references of static, and here you usually say this dot your check value. Okay, so here you have to just comment it. Okay, just let's here go to the method, go inside the method, and just print the input argument what you are x getting plus x. Okay, check value similarly x equal to plus x. Similarly in the superclass, this is go to the subclass as well as go side inside a subclass. This is a subclass. You have defining a check here, check value x equal to plus x. Here you defining plus x equal to plus x. Here is the b, here is the b. Okay, here is the b, so not overriding the value. Good. So let us here now here we can invoke this is the method should be written void. Okay, here you can store method invoke. Okay, this method take a super instance. So here just I'm comment it out so that you are here, you can pass what is the, this is a super class references you can pass. So here you can pass new superclass okay, here you can pass new superclass, and here let's key input your integer parameter, here pass your parameter input, here pass your whatever input p. Okay, so here let's key I am pass as a 100. So in this case we are invoking this method. This is the take a reference of this. Here I am passing a superclass object itself. Okay, if you run it, they can check value with the superclass here 100. And you can also pass this method also can take this reference also can the subclass as well as. Okay, so here we are looking this is there here is the first case. If you are passing the superclass object, they return a superclass from a superclass. But here this method is not depend upon the which function they are going. So which value he, in the case if you are passing a superclass object, they are invoking the superclass method. If you passing the subclass object here, if you are passing the subclass, the same method are displaying your subclass output. So this method is depend upon the which types of object are you passing. If you're passing the superclass object, they know superclass method. If you're passing the subclass object, they return the subclass object. So this is the runtime polymorphism. This check value is hidden by your superclass. So if you're passing the subclass object, they are invoking a subclass value. If you're passing a superclass object, they are invoking the superclass object. And similarly, let's we have a method another that case of interface. Similarly, they be if you are let's we have a interface your I1 we do have a, we have defined I1. Let's we have a one method void test. Okay, test take input y. Okay, and here all the implementation must be override. You have to define here public and here s out c1 or y equal to plus y. Similarly, you can override the same in there c2. This is the c2. Okay, so here the interface. Let's key we have a one define a method in main method. Main method take a ref interface ref interface object is obj. Okay, and this interface reference you have to define only one test method. So they test and pass your argument. Here a pass argument. So here this test method, which method invoke, maybe invoke this or maybe invoke this. They have two implementation. Which one invoke, this depend upon which value are passed. Let's key I pass the same method m1 here. They are expecting your, that's not m2, so it's clear m2. You have to pass the interface of implementation. So in interface you cannot create a new I1 interface object, you cannot create. So here you can pass the all the implementation of I1 have implemented by the c1, so you can pass c1. And the argument, your argument 300, and if you run it, so here c1 invoke. But this interface test method are invoking the which method definition which you pass in the runtime. If you pass the same method, you pass the c2 here. Okay, so here which method invoke depend upon the which object you are passing. If you are passing a c2 or c1, let's say I'm change 4. So here this test method may invoke a c1 overridden method or c2 overridden, depend upon the which object. If he passing the c1 object, they are invoking the c1. If he passing the c2 implementation, this is the c2 implementation. This is your method overriding. Method overriding happen in the case of your class or in the case of your interface. This is the class. In the case of your superclass class, you can pass here the all these the subclass object. And which subclass object are you passing? If the particular method overridden, the particular methods are invoked. Similarly, in the case of interface, we have interface. Here in the interface, you can pass any implementation of this. Okay, which implementation we pass, the respective methods will invoke. So this is your method overriding. Okay? So this is the let's say example of static method. I am not sure. Yes. Now let's here you have to from here let's you invoke a reference dot your static method. What is the static method name here? You have defined the static method this static method static and static method. Similarly, you can define inside your here. Okay. Let's key we are going to invoke from here. Okay, we can invoke. Similarly, you can invoke in interface. We have not defined. No? Okay, so let's run. Okay, so assume. So here you have to invoke your first 100 100. This is okay. This is we have passed your superclass object, and then this check function you return the superclass. This static method is derived from your superclass itself. Okay, and here in the next call, if we passing the subclass object, itself is still they are invoking your superclass. This is the superclass. Even you pass your subclass implementation here. So why this method is not depend upon the which object you are passing. This is reference, they are reference from your this class name super. This is the reference of your super. They always invoke your super class reference. Doesn't matter which object you are invoking. Okay, the static method is always invoked from the types of class. This reference types is a static, so they are always invoking static method. They are not depend upon the which object you are passing, superclass object or subclass object. The static method is only depend upon which reference you are invoking. Invoking the superclass, they the both case you are invoking the superclass. Let's key I write another method like your subclass here. Method 2, 3, and here I am writing a subclass. Okay, subclass. Okay, and here you can let's pass here. In the case of subclass, you can pass only subclass object. Yes, method 3, and here you can subclass 500 value. Okay, so this static method. Okay, this static method is invoked from the subclass reference. Just name it subclass reference. Subclass reference. Let's you test static 3 method. You are passing a new class object. Okay, so they are invoked from the subclass. So this static method is not depend upon which object we are passing. This is only depend upon the which reference. If this is the reference of subclass, they are invoking the subclass method. Okay, and if you are referencing this superclass, this is superclass. So generally always recommend you don't invoke your any static method with the help of reference. Instead you can direct use your class name, so it's clear key you are invoking class method. This is generally not a recommended way to invoke. So always you try to write your static method from its class name, so it's clear this which methods they are invoking. But in the case of instance method, you cannot not write from class name, so which object are you passing depend upon the object implementation this method definition are going to invoke. So this is the method. Here your method heading, here method overloading. So here your method overriding check value depend upon the which object you are passing, object 1, object 2. This is the superclass. Okay, a superclass have a multiple implementation, so this check method is depend upon which you are assigning this way, so this method invoke. If you are assigning implementation different, the different method will invoke. If you are assigning different method will invoke. But in the case of static, they does not depend upon your instance. This depend upon your class name. This is the class name superclass. So whatever superclass defined, only those method I invoke. Similarly here, in the case of subclass, you are accessing from subclass reference, they are always invoked from the subclass static method. The static method is always bound to use is your static data member. Sometime let's here, if you write here, you are let's static references, you are defining a null. In general, from this way you cannot someone ask can invoke static method. Yes, this is a very weird example. Okay, it's works, still works. This is the runtime. This is reflected by the compiler to your class name, and class name they do not bound to which object you are passing. If you run it, still yeah, they are able to run it. Okay, so this is the preference. We're not writing it this way. Instead you write your superclass thus this way. It's the so clear which method they are going to know. Okay, but here if you try to invoke like from this references invoke some value like here, this class is a null. Okay, from null you cannot invoke any instance method. This is the throw exception. This is throw exception. Okay, okay, you cannot invoke because this object does not to initialize any value, so you cannot invoke any instance method, but you can invoke your static method. Static method allow, instance method not allow here. So general preference, don't invoke your static method from object reference, use the class name itself. This is the preference way. So it's clear, always try to invoke static method from class name. Reason, static method is not bound to any object, but instance method is always bound to object. Until you are not initialize any object, you can not invoke any instance method. So this is the some overriding a signature. What type signature means ki whenever you have a subclass instance method, yeah, subclass class static method I explain. Okay na. So in the case of your instance method superclass here, in the subclass you are defining the same as a overriding subclass. Similarly, in the if you are a superclass static method is a compile time error. Similarly, in the subclass you are defining the subclass same compile, here you are adding as well. So as discussion, always try to, if your instance method you can override, and you have a static method, generally this is the method heading, and static method always try to from a class name. Okay, you can override you can overload the inherited method from a superclass. Such overload method neither hide nor override superclass instance method. Okay, sometimes you can known as a overloading as well. As let's example here, say in the your here your method so. Okay, the here you can define the you can define the here I have defined, I think, a so method. I have defined so method. I can also define so method, and let's give pass here an integer argument 5. Okay, so here okay, here so method is overriding same signature you are writing in the subclass, that is the overriding, and your same signature you are writing, but you have a different argument, same method name is the same. This is your overloading. So if in the subclass you are defining the same name and same signature, then override. If same name but parameter list is different, this is the overloading. In the sub in the while the your subclassing, you can override method or you can overload as well. Means ki you are using the same name, but parameter list is the different. This is overloading. If same signature means overriding. So be clear. Always you cannot say ki overload happen in the only superclass. In subclass you can also do your overloading. Same signature method, same class name you can use in the subclass and different parameter list. This is overloading. The same thing here is saying. Okay, such is overloaded method. In subclass, you can overload the method inherited from a superclass. Okay, the such overloaded method neither hide not override. Superclass instance method and the new method unique name and superclass. So generally this is the one perception key, always overload in the same class. No, override load can be happen in the same class you can define the two methods with the same name but different parameter. You can also overload in the subclass. You are defining the same name method here, same name method here, but different parameter list. This is the overloading. If you are a same name and same signature here, that is overriding. So in subclass you can do overloading, you can do your overriding as well as. So sometimes very confusion ki method overloading is always happen in a superclass. No, subclass can also have a method overloading if the parameter list is a different, a signature different. If the same name but different parameter list, overloading. If the same signature, same parameter list, is the overriding. In the case of instance method only. So as we discuss about the overloading and overriding, so this is the form of your polymorphism. So polymorphism sometimes say what is the polymorphism reference? Means the you can dictionary meaning of polymorphism is the biology which in organism system in different form. Okay, one can have a many different form, one object. So that means key one method, if you define one method can behave differently depend upon which object you are assigning. In the case of overriding, similarly same method name can be behave different output in the case of overloading. So in the Java, polymorphism you can achieve through your overloading and overriding. So generally overriding is depend upon the object. So you can say overriding is the compile run times and overloading is different parameter list. Compiler initially know which method you are going to invoke. So this is the overloading as well. So polymorphism you can achieve through two mode. One is your overloading, one is the overriding. Overriding is a runtime polymorphism, overloading a compile time polymorphism. Polymorphism means one object behave differently in the situation. So in this example, in this example, in this example, this this check value, this check value or this check value is not, you don't know which math, which what would be the output of here. So which object you are passing here, which object you are passing here, this method one. If you passing this, they behave differently. If you passing this object, they behave differently. So this check value override method have a as a run and compile time, you cannot say what would be the output of this, which methods they are going to invoke, which method they are going to invoke at the runtime, which object you are bounding to this reference object. Accordingly the out the check value is invoked, maybe from this object, maybe from this object, maybe from this object. So this is your runtime polymorphism, and in the case of your method overloading, this is the compile time polymorphism. So in Java, you can achieve polymorphism in a two way: overloading and overriding. In the case of here overloading, I'm not giving an example. Okay, you can write a yes. Here is the overloading. Here is the overloading. So from show or sub to, you know which method you are going to know. So as I say, JVM calls appropriate method for an object that is reference for each variable. Okay, so does not call the methods that define the variable types. Okay, the behavior is referred as a virtual method invocation. So in the case of our overriding method, which method invoke depend upon the which object you are passing. Okay, so this is your virtual method invocation to demonstrate in the important. This is the importance of polymorphism feature. So polymorphism is the deciding which methods we are going to invoke. If the superclass references here, which they have a two implementation or they have a three implementation, which implementation they are going to invoke. Here bound key which object you are passing here. If you are passing the object of this class, they are invoking the different something. If you are passing the object of this class here, they are be invoking the this method. If you are passing the object of this class, they have invoked this class. So this is the runtime polymorphism. Overridden methods are which method invoke depend upon which kind of object you are passing to that method. So similarly, we can already discuss about the hiding field. Similarly, in the case of method, if you are defining a same method in your subclass known as method hiding, similarly you can define the same instance variable, same field here in subclass. This value is the hiding. Means this value is hide from in this subclass. So be clear. Sometime you can hide your field as well as. So a field that has the same name in a superclass hide the subclass value. So within a subclass, the field superclass cannot reference its name. Okay, if the field must be accessed to the superclass. Sometime you want to access the superclass value, so we have to. In this case example, here we have a declare in the subclass. We have declared like variable. Here we have declared variable x. X now referring is the your here. X referring here x referring is x referring is you want to refer from super, so you have to super dot x. So you can refer super, not referring this variable, but we are referring a super variable. We run it. So sometime you so sometime here your show one this. Now they are referring x super variable 10. Super variable 10, not referring your 44, not referring your 50. So sometime you want to access your super references, that is define the same name. Here x variable you have defined the super class as well. You are defining in the super class your x variable and 10 and subclass in same name here. Here a same name. Okay, so this is your field hide, but you want to access your super data member, you can use the super keyword. Okay, so generally this is the generally avoid to your hiding field. Whenever you want to declare some field, always recommend a new name. Don't hide like that. So don't recommend this the hiding field. It's a very tough to read the code. Similarly, we can say our we have used the keyword. If you want to access those super class member from in the subclass, you can use the super class. So from superclass you can invoke a superclass constructor. You can super dot your field. Similarly, super dot your method you can also access. So if your method override one superclass method, you invoke the overridden method through the keyword super. Okay, the super keyword used to access your superclass constructor, access your field superclass, access your superclass method. The super help us from in within a subclass, within a subclass at the same field method defined here. You want to invoke from, you also define here. So whenever you directly invoking, they are always prefer the local. So if you want to access your super, you use the keyword super dot. Okay, just like a super dot x. Similarly, I have super also use the the constructors in subclass constructor. This is your just like a super either your first line and the constructor default argument constructor or one argument constructor, any argument you can invoke here. So uh, how to use super keyword, invoke the superclass constructor. I already explained you can invoke superclass constructor using the super keyword, and super keyword is the first line of your constructor. Okay, so be sometime you can is field, some kind of is constructor of method, some kind is field, as well as to invoke the from subclass to superclass using the super keyword. So here, okay, uh, invocation of your superclass constructor must be the first line. Okay, the be clear. You are invoke, this is the super means your default constructor you can invoke. If you want to invoke the specific constructor, you can use super and parameter list as well as. Sure. With super means super class no argument constructor call. Here super with the argument, you can invoke the argument as constructor here. B plus super in the constructor always should be the first line. Okay, you cannot second any documentation, any comment, any variable in slide before the super. Super is the first line of any constructor if you want to invoke the super class constructor from the subclass. Okay, so same, if a constructor does not explicitly invoke a superclass constructor, Java compiler automatically insert your no argument constructor in the super. So if the superclass constructor does not have a no argument constructor, compiler will throw runtime argument. Okay, if you invoke a super with the default argument, if you, in the superclass in the sub superclass you have not defined default argument constructor, the compiler throw exception. Okay. Okay, so please be, whenever you are manually writing a constructor inside your any class and you have no key, this is the subclass, and subclass can invoke a super constructor with the default argument. So in your class you should define the default argument constructor. If in the case you define any argumented constructor in any class, your compiler does not insert any default argument. So please be insert, if you are not writing any constructor in your class, compiler by default insert your default argument constructor. But you have manually specify one argument constructor, that's your responsibility. You have to specify your default zero argument constructor, so that from subclass if anyone invoke the super constructor, your default argument constructor can invoked. So this is the be noted point. So if a subclass constructor invoke from the constructor of its superclass, be explicitly or implicitly, you might think the whole chain of constructor. So be sure whenever any subclass constructor invoke, always invoke all the your superclass constructor. Okay, and any superclass you have defined manually constructor, compiler not insert your default constructor. If you're not defining any constructor, compiler default constructor, default constructor, default constructor, so your chaining will happen properly. If in some classes you define manually your construct one argument constructor or two argument constructor, so in this case your compiler does not insert default constructor, your chaining will be break. So please be ensure ki in the case of complete your constructor invocation chaining, constructor chaining, you have to initialize your default constructor. So similarly, there is a concept some final keyword. The whenever sometime we say ki all let's depend ki all the class member are the final. You can use the your final keyword. Method declaration indicate that you cannot override by subclass. So sometime if you want this method cannot be overridden in the subclass, so you can mark as a final. Okay, whenever you mark any class as a final, the final method is cannot be overridden. And similarly, if this is the class, I don't want any subclass. Okay, so you mark your class as a final. Okay, so this is a one kind of some, you want to restrict subclass, you make your superclass as a final, so that any other class cannot be make a subclass. Similarly, if any method you don't want to override, it's still a public method, they can access outside, but you don't want to override subclass, you can mark as a final. Okay, so here you can say, if you, let's see, in the superclass you say it's a final. So in the case of final, you cannot extend. Okay, so here your subclass cannot subclass of the superclass. So here compiler not allowed to create a subclass. So sometime you want my class is cannot, any class can make a subclass, cannot become any child class. So you just declare this class as a final. Okay, so here you can write a final as well as. And similarly, if you want this method cannot be override, so you can write here final. Then you write final here. Here you can say giving the message you cannot. Okay, okay, cannot override the final method from a superclass. Okay, if you want to restrict this, my method cannot be overridden by the subclass, you have to mark as a final. Okay, so please, this is the noted here. So you cannot, you can also specify the final keyword here. Okay, so final B, ensure you can declare a class as a final. That means this class cannot be inherited by any other class. Okay, if you declare any method as a final, this means this method cannot be overridden, this method cannot be subclass. So here uh, okay, same here, like, so it has a, so you can say you can declare some or all of class method as a final. So you use the final keyword, okay, to indicate that method cannot be overridden by subclass. So, okay, so object class has object class, this is the number of final method also. So object class also defines some final method you cannot override. Similarly, final methods, if a final method implementation should change the behavior, so it's critical for consistent state of the, why we need, question is that why we need. Sometime let's keep this is the my one class, maybe multiple implementation 1, implementation 2, implementation 3, each have a given the different overridden method, but I want the behavior of a function should be the same for all. So you have to write your final, so that none of the class can override, a same behavior can use, because the public so can use. So sometime you want the one behavior should be consistent for all our subclasses, so you have to mark as a final, so that anyone cannot override. Similarly, there is a concept of abstract class method as well, as you can define an abstract class is the class that declare abstract method. Okay, it may not be include abstract method. So abstract class cannot be instantiated. They cannot be, but they can be subclass. Okay, the abstract method is a method that is declared within the without the implementation. Yeah, without curly braces. This is the abstract method. Let's see here. You write class. You write your abstract class. So any class you can write your abstract. Okay, so in this case abstract class you cannot create the object of abstract class. First things, you cannot create a obj of equal to new class, here not allowed. Okay, so cannot instantiate the type of abstract classes. So be clear, if any class is abstract, you cannot instance, but you can make a subclass. Here you can make a uh, class ABC IM ABC. Extend your abstract class here. Okay, here now here instead of this you cannot create this, but you can do like you cannot do, but you can create the object of your subclass. So this is the allow. Similarly in the interface, you cannot create the object. Similarly abstract class you cannot create the object, but in the abstract class can have a constructor, can have a method, can have a field, and you can initialize with the all the subclass, any subclass. So maybe multiple implementation here you can ABC1. So you can initialize this way, or you can also initialize ABC1 as well as. So here you can, here abstract class object can initialize with the implement subclass of one, subclass of two. So abstract class you can write in any abstract class that can be extended by the multiple subclasses. Okay, and inside of class you can define your constructor. Here you can define abstract class constructor. You can define constructor. You can define constructor, you can define variable, you can define method. Okay, void. You can define test one method. Let's see, you can define as well as the method which have a you can define public void test. I want to all the I want to abstract. Okay, so here if you are not defining any method definition, you this is means this should be abstract. So here you have to write abstract. Abstract. So this is the reason. Oh, so if any method you don't want to give the definition in the abstract method, you want to all my child one child to implement this, so you have to give the abstract method definition. So similarly you can in interface also define abstract method. In this interface this is the optional, but in the abstract class this is not optional. So all here all should all implementation should define the definition. Okay, here if any class want to implement, this can implement. Okay, ABC test method. Okay, if some class don't want to define the definition of test, that this class must be abstract. If abstract, okay, you cannot until this because you have inheritance have this test method. A test method if you are not defining, someone maybe class abc abc2 maybe extends abc1. Okay, they if you are not defining, they can also uh, this is the test method. Test method inherited, you are not defining here, then you have to define here as well as. So in anyhow here, you can define. Now it's okay. Okay, so this way you can define any method. You are not giving the definition here. This is the abstract method, and this different implementation given by your subclass, maybe given by your subclass. If subclass someone not giving the definition, that this class must be abstract. And what is the subclass of ABC? ABC subclass of 2. The 2 can give in the definition. So this ABC class 1, you cannot also create the object because this is the abstract class. So abstract class you cannot create object, but in abstract class you can define variable, you can define field, you can define constructor, you can define methods, you can also define abstract method. Abstract method is a method which doesn't have a definition, doesn't have a body. So here you look like this is the field because you cannot assign your ABC1 because this is ABC1 is not implemented your abstract method. So here you can define your ABC2. ABC2 have implemented. So this is the rule of some abstract method. Okay. So a class can be abstract directly. That means you don't want to anyone can create the object of this class, but all the subclass, okay, can be multiple subclass. All the subclass can be object assigned to these references. And if you want to some method, you can also write abstract method. Abstract method is a method that doesn't have a method body. So when abstract method is a subclass usually provide the implementation of all abstract method. Okay, if does not provide, then subclass must also declare as abstract. In the case of our ABC1, implement abstract method but does not define test method, then this subclass also marks as abstract class. So method in the interface does not declare the default implicitly, but whenever you are defining any method, instance method, that is by default abstract in the case of interface. But in the case of abstract class, you have to manually write your abstract keyword if you want the some method definition is provided by each subclass. So abstract class compared to the interface. Okay, sometime this abstract method you can write in two places, or you can write any method. Abstract method means ki only signature of a method. So you can write in the interface, you can write in the interface, you don't need to write abstract keyword. But when you write any abstract method inside a class, that class must be marked as abstract class. Okay, and in both case abstract class and your interface, you are generally define only method signature. You say this method name, what is the return type, what is the parameter list, what is the definition of those method body is defined by your maybe in the case of abstract all the subclass can define, and maybe case of interface all the implementation class are defined. Okay, so abstract classes are similar to the interface. You cannot incident is, but in the both case abstract class object cannot created, interface object cannot created, because in both cases this is some method. Let's say method 1 doesn't have a definition, method maybe 2 doesn't have a definition. If compiler allow to create object, and after the object you can invoke method 1, but method 1 doesn't have a definition, so compiler break. So before reaching that level, compiler does not allow to instantiate a object of your abstract classes or interface. Okay, why reason? Because some methods are not implemented, some method are not implemented here. So they can contain mix of a method declare or without declaration. In the case of abstract class, you can write instance method with implementation or without implementation. Okay, but in the case of interface, all the instance method without implementation, only default and static method you can give in the definition. Okay, with abstract classes you declare field that are non-static, non-final. In the case of abstract class, you can define field. Field can be static, can be non-static, can be final. But in the case of interface, whenever you declaring any variable, by that variable by default is static and final. Okay, and by default public interface, whatever declaring by default public, here by default you can mention public, private, something else. So protected and private create with interface, all the fields are automatically public, static, final. All methods you are declare or define the default and publics. Okay, and in addition, you can extend one classes whether it's abstract and where you can implement n number of interface. Here here one class can implement any number of interface. Here in the case of abstract class, only one subclass direct. So these are the some kind of use cases where you can use. Okay, so there are consider you can consider when you can where you can use your abstract class, where you can interface. So any of these three any of statement you can apply the situation where you can abstract class. If you want to share the code among the several closely related classes, okay, you accept the classes that extend your abstract class and can have a common method or field required to all the modifier, maybe public, private, protected. If you want to declare a non-static non-final fields that enable you to define a method that can access and modify the state of behavior. So these are the situation and scenario where you can go for the abstract classes. What happened? Okay, in this case of interface, in this case of interface, similarly, I have some interface point as well as you expect that unrelated access implementation required. Okay, just like some classes expect unrelated classes implement the multiple cases where you can like comparable interface, clonable interface. So this is the place where you can interface, and you want to specify the behavior of particular data types, but not concerned with about the implementation behavior. Where you can use, you want to take advantage of multiple inheritance of types. That the case where you can use the interface. So these are the situation and scenario where you can think about to interface and abstract. Okay, so this is the brief summary about the inheritance. Inheritance, you have a no we have inherited the property of from one superclass to any number of subclasses, and similarly interface can have a multiple implementation classes. So we have discussed key all the public and protected data member can be inherited in a subclass, and the private data member cannot inherit it. We have things the overloading and overriding runtime polymorphisms, and we have to run about the abstract classes and abstract method. So interface and cannot create object. Similarly, abstract class cannot create object, and overloading and overriding support. You can defining the same name method inside your superclass or in a subclass. In subclass, you can also define overload and overriding method as well as. So these kind of brief summary, and hope it's helpful you to understood what are the benefits you are getting. Okay, so these are very simple way, just you try and play with yourself to writing overloading, overriding, polymorphism, abstract method, interface, declaring subconstructor, non-constructor. So multiple permutation combination have whenever you are from yourself try, and if you feel any feel any problem with understanding, please uh, comment me. I'll surely reply to all from my best effort what we have my understanding with respect to the particular topics. So here in the last, I would like to say for today, thank you for watching this video.